Ukraine stands defiant. For almost 3 years, it has resisted Russia's invasion. The human cost has been immense. Millions are displaced. Cities lie in ruins. The fight for freedom continues, but the burden weighs heavily on Ukraine's people. At the heart of this struggle is a debate over conscription. Currently, Ukrainian men aged 25 to 60 face mandatory military service. However, with the war dragging on, pressure is mounting to lower the conscription age to 18. Proponents argue that it's necessary to replenish depleted ranks. Critics warn of the devastating consequences for a generation barely out of school. This is not simply a military calculation. It's a moral reckoning with profound implications for Ukraine's future. The decision will shape not only the trajectory of the war, but also the very fabric of Ukrainian society. The world watches as Ukraine confronts this agonizing dilemma. Lowering the conscription age to 18 strikes at the heart of a fundamental moral question. Is it ever justifiable to send teenagers to war? Opponents argue that 18-year-olds, fresh out of school, are ill-equipped to face the horrors of combat. They lack the life experience and emotional maturity to process the trauma of war. The psychological toll on young soldiers can be devastating. Post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts are common among combat veterans. Exposing adolescents, still in their formative years, to such trauma carries immense risks. The moral imperative to protect children is enshrined in international law. The optional protocol to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, ratified by Ukraine, prohibits the compulsory recruitment of children under 18 into armed forces. Lowering the conscription age would not only violate this international commitment, but also erode fundamental moral principles. Furthermore, sending a generation of 18-year-olds to war robs them of their futures. It deprives them of the opportunity to pursue education, build careers, and start families. This loss will have long-term consequences for Ukraine's social and economic recovery. The psychological and social consequences of war on young soldiers are undeniable. Studies have shown that exposure to combat at a young age significantly increases the risk of developing mental health issues. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is a common diagnosis among veterans, characterized by flashbacks, nightmares, anxiety, and emotional detachment. Beyond PTSD, young soldiers may struggle with depression, substance abuse, and difficulty reintegrating into civilian life. The trauma of war can also lead to relationship problems, unemployment, and homelessness. The social impact extends beyond the individual. Families are torn apart by deployment and loss. Communities struggle to cope with the influx of return